Hey, I'm Brian Van, SportBikeTrackHere.com, and today we're going to break down the all-new Arai Regent-X full-face helmet. The Arai Regent-X retails from $494 for a solid up to $620 for a graphic helmet. Please understand that we don't update these videos if pricing changes, only if the helmet itself has been completely redesigned, meriting a brand new video. This is the new entry-level Arai full-face helmet, and $494 is a very attractive price for an Arai. We're going to break this helmet down in this video and give you some baseline comparisons with this and the other models in their range. Before we dive into the details, what I want to say is what they were really aiming for here is extreme comfort, or easy on-off effort, and just a tremendous feeling of comfort when you have the helmet on. And I got to tell you, they hit that nail right on the head with the Regent-X. This may be, for me, their best fitting, most comfortable helmet in the entire range. Who is the Arai Regent-X for? This is designed for any rider looking for a full face helmet, right? That wants high levels of protection. It's an Arai, for God's sake. That wants a good, comfortable fit that can be worn for hours. You can do that on the street. You could be a street rider looking to do some track days as well. This helmet's going to be at home there too. If you want to just do track days and this is in your price point and the Corsair-X isn't, and you want an Arai, feel free to buy this helmet. I think you're going to be happy with it. This is Snell 2020 certified, the latest certified. It weighs 3.45 pounds in a size medium on our digital shipping scale. Let's dive right into sizing. Before you buy a helmet, make sure you take a good measurement. We have a whole video showing you how to do that on the website and in this listing as well. I measure 58 centimeters on the money with an intermediate oval head shape. The Arai Regent-X was built to the intermediate oval head form, which is the most common here in North America. Their size chart puts me in a medium. This is a medium. I've worn it at my desk for over an hour, and it fits and feels amazing. That is the strength of this helmet. Its on-off effort is very gentle, and its fit is absolutely amazing. I love what they did with that. If you happen to wear glasses, say you don't want a tinted screen, you want to wear sunglasses, or you're a prescription glasses user, as we're showing you right now, it is easy on, easy off. They hit another home run with the glasses compatibility. Let's break down some features and benefits. We're going to start with ventilation. That's probably the most important for most any rider out there. Intake vents are found up here on the top of the helmet. They are one step on or off. The action feels smooth and quality as you'd expect from Arai. The famous Arai brow vents are built into the shield. There's ductwork in there that channels us back. We're going to show you that. Very effective ventilation right there. Intake vent here in the chin area. This is a demister, right? Flows air up in this area. It also flows air into the mouth area. Exhaust vents are found back here, Venturi style, molded into the shell. There's corresponding holes in the EPS for all these vents. And then we have exhaust vent that is full on at all times right here underneath this diffuser. There is also stitched into the neck roll, you see this rubber piece here, this is a Venturi style exhaust vent that's put there just to help move some heat and moisture away that gets trapped in this pocket right here between the top of the neck roll and the bottom of the headliner itself. Number of shells. This helmet uses 5 different shell sizes. Extra small gets its own. Small has its own. Medium and large will share a shell. Extra large and 2X each have their own shell. As I said previously, the weight of this helmet is very reasonable for a Snell helmet. It is 3.45 pounds in a size medium. As with all the Arais, the shell is handmade in Japan. And as you can clearly see, this is an older Corsair helmet shell that was built and never built into a full helmet. Look at all the different materials that are used in this. What they're doing is they're strategically placing different materials in different spots to help tune the protection of this helmet. One of the key formulas or one of the keys to their formula for protection is the round exterior shape. And you can see that here with the Regent, clearly that is extremely round. The thoughts there are, number one, round is very strong, okay? So this is built for the big impact, and I'm gonna show you in a second how they tune it for the medium and the light impacts as well. So this is built for the, and I mean, I'm really getting after that right now, okay? And I cannot hardly compress that. You don't hear any cracking or snapping. And let me tell you, some other helmets you do that, and I can pretty much collapse the thing. I can stand on it like this. I can stand on it like that. Hand built by craftsmen in Japan, and you're getting that same shell technology and quality here in the Regent. So very strong, round. If you're, say you have a crash and you're sliding across a pavement and there's an imperfection in it, right? A round object is more likely to just skip right over it. If you have a big ridge or something on the back of it, it could catch in it, kink your neck, you know, cause an injury or start a tumble, right? That is the philosophy behind the round shape. And that's why after all these years, they've never, ever changed it. Now, how do they tune it for the medium or the smaller hits? Look at all the different colors that are used in this variable density EPS. By doing so, using different materials strategically in different places, these compress at different rates, right? That in conjunction with what you see there in the shell is where the magic of the Arai protection comes from. Aerodynamic performance. I have not personally ridden in this helmet. A good friend of mine, the editor of Road Racing World magazine, did so in Japan, right? And he had nothing but good things to say about this helmet. I'll try this myself once we get to riding season here in Michigan, but I will absolutely take John at his word. He loved his experience. They did a ride in Japan, like a long street ride that included a monsoon. He said on the way back, he got caught into a literal monsoon. He said on the dry portion of the ride, it was very hot there in Japan. The ventilation was quite effective. Not as effective as the top level helmet, right? Because it simply has less vents, but he said nonetheless, it definitely kept him cool and collected. One of the things that he really liked with it was during the monsoon, and he wears glasses underneath the helmet. He said his face did not get wet. There was no water intrusion in the helmet during a monsoon. And he said that might have been his absolute favorite feature about the helmet, because when you're wearing glasses that you need to see and you're riding in the rain, it's important you don't have a lot of water intrusion into the helmet. The shield that they're using on this is the same shield you'll find on the Corsair-X, the Signet-X, the Quantum-X, and the Defiant-X. It has a lock down here at the bottom. Release it like so. Push down, it's locked. Release. To remove the shield, there is a trigger right here by the side pod. There's an arrow to indicate to pull back. Pull back, and you'll kind of feel it stick into position. Do that here on the other side, and then from here, grab your shield by the edges, just rotate it forward, and off it comes, literally that easy, okay? This is a pin lock ready shield. This helmet does not ship with the pin lock insert. That is sold separate. To reinstall, simply slide it over like that and rotate it until that jumps into the channel. Grab your side pod here. There's a hook here. Corresponds with that cavity there from top to bottom. Push it in, clip. I'll show you a little closer here on the other side. Grab your shield by the edges, rotate it around until this slides over the hinge, like so. You're going to see this brass button drop into that little pocket there. It's red behind it. Now I want you to lift up on the shield. You'll see and hear that jump into that channel. Once it's done that, grab this, get the hook into the cavity, push down before you take the helmet out for a ride. I want you to go ahead and cycle it once or twice to make sure that we're all good in the hood, right? And that you've got everything properly installed, like so, and we are good to go. Face shields. Let's say you want to get a tinted shield. Arai offers a number of tinted shields. We have some mirrored shields, we have some dark smoke, we have some light smoke. Pin lock compatible if you purchase the insert too and want the fog-free performance. That is one option. Let's say you want one of those drop-down inner screens. Arai does not offer a drop-down inner shield that lives inside the helmet. They believe that compromises the overall safety of the helmet. For that reason, they simply will not do it. In order to put a drop-down screen inside of a helmet, you have to do a couple of things. One is you have to have enough room in there. So maybe you could channel out, let's say, I don't know, a 1/4 inch or more of your EPS, right, in between the EPS and the shell itself. Have that pocket for that to live in there. Oftentimes what you have to do when you're putting a drop-down inner in is you have to make the shell a little bit bigger so you're not really taking too much of the EPS away, because you don't want to over-compromise your impact protection. At the end of the day, when you have that pocket in there, the bottom line is it is going to have some type of influence on overall impact, performance, and protection. That just is what it is. For that reason, Arai will not do it. So what they did is they came up with an external drop-down shield system they refer to as the Pro Shade system. We're showing you this here now on an older model. The gist of it is the same now. This is just a different generation shield. The exterior shield lives on a brand new purpose-built clear face shield. It is hinged on both sides, right? It locks at the top. It does not touch the outer of the face shields. There's no scratching or anything going on, and you're able to move this thing up and down. When it's in the upwardmost position, see that? It's locked. It's going nowhere. To release it, you put some downward pressure and then pull down like so. Available in dark smoke, light smoke, and there's some mirrored options as well. That is the Arai solution. My friend John, who rode in the Regent-X during the press release in Japan, his helmet was outfitted with that, and he said that he thought that was absolutely brilliant. He enjoyed the experience. I've ridden in this helmet here with that drop-down exterior screen, and I would concur, it does a great job. The only thing that I would say is when it's in the upwardmost position, this isn't a bad thing, just to, it's not even a criticism, it just is. It does produce just a little bit of noise. It sounds a little bit different. I'm not talking jet airplane or anything. I'm talking, you kind of sort of notice it, but you have all that convenience at the end of the day without sacrificing any protection. And I think it's pretty cool that Arai went through the paces to develop that without just compromising their principles. Liner of this helmet. It is semi-removable. It is all washable. You're able to replace pieces of it to tune the fit, and I'm going to be able to show you a lot more what that looks like in the second portion of this video when I take it apart. Okay, now let's take a close look from the inside out of the all-new Regent-X. Let's get our shield in the upwardmost position. I've already shown you how to do this. Let's go ahead and release that. Let's rotate that forward. Let's pull this off. This helmet includes a chin curtain that is not removable. That bad boy, that is just fixed in there. Okay, we're not going to take that out. The neck roll of this helmet also appears to me to be fixed in position and glued, so we will not be removing that. We can remove the cheek pads as well as the top pad. These can be replaced with optional sized cheek pads and or top pad to help tune the fit if you find that you need to do that. To remove the cheek pads, what I want you to do is I want you to get your fingers in here, and I want you to get them in between the shell of the helmet and the back EPS of this cheek pad right here, like so. Try to rotate that so you can see it. Put pressure inward, work my fingers back behind it, and then I'm going to, once I have it released here in the back, I'm going to pull rearward. From here, you want to slide the chin strap out. There is a tab up here in the front that goes behind the chin bar portion here. Internally, I'll show you that in a second. Locks in place, and then from there, the actual EPS portion of this cheek pad dips into the EPS that is then glued inside the helmet, and it's wedged in place and held very tightly. So that's a little bit different than we see with some of the other Arai models. The Define-X is similar to this. Remove that. The top pad is really where this separates from the rest of the models. It is only a semi-removable top pad. The first thing you have to do is get your thumb behind this fabric here on the edge of the EPS and kind of rotate it out. There's a little tab that slid in between the EPS and the shell of the helmet. You need to pull that out. Do that on both sides. Here at the very back, you're going to have a piece of Velcro in the dead center. In the front, you're going to have two pieces. Here is the top pad, the portion that is in fact removable. The other portion is literally glued right into the helmet itself, okay, and that is not removable. You could get in there and wash this, right? That would be hand wash, of course, very mild detergent. You don't want to throw the thing on to submerge it, right? But if you felt like you really needed to clean this top pad, you're able to do that. In all honesty, the parts of a liner that are going to get funky and going to get dirty, it happens here because there's a lot of friction on and off on the face, right? The cheek pads will get a little nasty, as well as, you know, the brow of this as well. So at the end of the day, you're still able to get it clean. When I look at this, you know, I don't want to beat Arai up. I don't. I'm sure they had their reasons for this. It's a different design, something that I'm really not used to looking at. At the end of the day, I don't know if this is a pro or a con. I really don't think it's anything. I think it's just different. And sometimes people look at different and they're like, "Whoa, I don't know if I like that." But I would say that's just it's a non-issue. The vents here, the ductwork, this is just kind of cool. The ductwork exits right there. Okay, so it's going to blow that kind of right up here in your temple area. It's a great way to introduce air into the helmet and keep the rider cool. You can see in the EPS, see if I can rotate this enough. You can see some corresponding holes with the vents, like right there. Can you see that, Caleb? You're going to find 2 up here in the front. You're going to find 3 here in the back at the crown area, and there's 2 here that line up with these corresponding Venturi vents in the back. How a Venturi works is when the air moves over that, it creates low pressure and a suction. It just literally pulls the heat and moisture that's trapped inside the helmet, just pulls it right on out of there. So some of this looks a little bit different, right? At the end of the day, the strength of the helmet is going to be the way it fits, the comfort it provides is awesome. Give you a look at these cheek pads. You can install a communicator system in here if you want to. It's designed to accept the speakers. You can see how it's hollowed out right here. Different densities of foam are used in this cheek pad, so you're still getting their high-end, you know, cheek pad facial contour system, right? You can see there's a plastic piece that has kind of a spring effect to it. This is the front of the cheek pad. It's right there, and that's why it's so easy to get on and get off, because this is just moving like so. But when the helmet's on and it's down on your crown, they just spring into place and really kind of hold you nicely in that area and seal up really well. A lot of engineering goes into this cheek pad. You know, it looks a little different than the higher end models do, but still it's more than just a simple hunk of foam. The quality of the fabric that they use too, this stuff really slides and glides on your face nicely. Taking this thing on and off, even for somebody who doesn't have any hair on their head, is super comfortable. Closing thoughts, right? I like the helmet. I'm a big Arai helmet fan. I love their philosophy. I love the family-owned and operated thing, and how they stick to the round shell, and just the quality and all the engineering that goes into this is something that I can really appreciate. What I would say for our STG customers here is, if you're shopping in this price point, you know, let's take a hard look at what you're getting at this price point, and then let's look at the other helmets in the Arai range too, if that's where you're shopping. And it's really up to you to determine, you know, is the savings you're getting on this enough to choose this over a Corsair-X or a Defiant-X, right, or a Signet-X or a Quantum-X, depending on your helmet head shape. You are getting a little more features and benefits with the other models I mentioned, like they do ship with a pin lock insert, which has some value attached to it. The other ones do all have the tunable fit, where you're able to pull layers that are glued to, you know, the temples and into the cheek pads to tune your fit. So you are picking up a couple little things. But then the part that where I'm a little bit torn with this one is the fit of this, and the comfort level is just stupid good. The other ones are good. This one is just amazing, that on-off effort. You know, they changed the shell a little bit. It's kind of flared out like 5 millimeters, which seems very little. But when you pull it over your head, you don't feel anything but smoothness, and it just glides and it feels great. So if you're riding and taking this thing on and off all the time, it just feels awesome. When you have it on, crazy comfortable. You need to decide if it's right for you or not. Any questions, just leave those in the comments section of this video. I answer all that stuff myself, and I'm here to make sure you get the most for your money at Sportbike Track Gear.